In the rising heat of the day, with the stardust still glistening underfoot, Orion found himself outside the confines of the celestial nomad, working diligently. There was a rhythm to his actions, a blend of urgency and methodical precision, as he continued to fortify his ship against the relentless elements. Each panel he adjusted, every loose wire he soldered, was a small step toward securing his temporary home on this alien land. The ship's exterior bore the brunt of the stardust storm, and evidence of the abrasive force was visible in the countless minute scratches on its hull. But amidst the damage, the ship retained an ethereal beauty, its sleek design contrasting the raw, untouched landscape around it. Orion paused, wiping sweat from his brow, his hands leaving faint streaks of luminescent stardust on his face. He pulled out a canteen, sipping the precious liquid inside, every drop a reminder of the life-sustaining resources he'd need to ration. As he drank, his gaze wandered, looking over the vast expanse of the desert, still taking in the strange beauty of it all. The horizon shimmered with heat, causing the stardust sands to look as though they were alive, moving in a dance of light and shadow. And then, something caught his eye. At first, it appeared as just another mirage, a figment produced by the sweltering heat. But as he continued to stare, narrowing his eyes against the sun's glare, the distant shapes became more distinct. It was a caravan, a procession of beings and creatures moving in harmony with the desert. Their silhouettes painted a tale of nomadic existence, of lives lived in sync with the rhythm of the stardust sands. The sight of potential life, of beings who might have knowledge of this place, filled Orion with a mix of hope and apprehension. Could they be friend or foe? Were they traders, explorers, or something entirely different? As the distant caravan grew closer, the vastness of the desert seemed to compress, bringing with it a weight of trepidation that settled heavily in Orion's chest. Each step of the approaching figures echoed loudly in his mind, amplifying the reality of his solitude. In this alien land, he was an intruder, a misplaced entity, and the approaching starbinders would be the rightful denizens, privy to the desert's secrets. There arose in him a dichotomy of feeling. Part of him, a scientific exploratory part, was alight with curiosity. He longed to meet these starbinders, to communicate, to understand their culture and their affinity with the stardust desert. How did they survive? What tales could they share? Yet another, more primal part of him, influenced by the evolutionary urge to survive, cautioned restraint. Were these beings peaceful? Or were they protectors of the desert's secrets, prepared to defend them against interlopers? He considered his options. He could approach them, extending the hand of friendship and understanding. A risky maneuver, but it could foster goodwill. Alternatively, he could wait for them to come to him, a less aggressive stance that could still lead to confrontation if they viewed his presence as a threat. The celestial nomad stood as a beacon, its metallic form contrasting against the soft glow of the desert. Would they see it as an object of curiosity or an invasion of their sacred lands? Memories of past explorations on distant planets surfaced, reminding him of encounters both harmonious and hostile. The cosmos was vast, its tapestry woven with threads of unpredictability. And now, on Nebulae, Orion felt the full brunt of that unpredictability. But amidst the whirlwind of emotion, a singular thought crystallized, embodying the essence of his character: the pursuit of knowledge, understanding, and connection. Taking a deep breath, Orion decided to make the first move. Clutching a piece of tech that could facilitate rudimentary communication, he began his slow, deliberate approach toward the caravan, every step a testament to the indomitable spirit of exploration. The caravan loomed closer, and from its midst there emerged a figure, commanding in her stance and with an aura that seemed to shimmer against the nebula sands. Ilara. She wasn't the tallest among them, nor was she dressed in the most ostentatious of the Starbinder's garb, but her presence was magnetic, undeniable. Her skin, a deep shade of cerulean, bore intricate patterns that seemed less like tattoos and more like constellations, a living map of the cosmos. Her eyes, vast and dark, held within them the depth of interstellar voids, punctuated by irises that shone like twin moons. They spoke of a wisdom gathered not just from years, but epochs. Every movement she made was fluid, like the seamless flow of time, and even the desert seemed to hold its breath in her presence. Her attire was a tapestry of stories, layers of cloth woven with stardust threads, each shimmer speaking of a tale, a tradition, a lineage. Around her neck, a pendant glowed softly, pulsating in rhythm with her heartbeat. As Orion watched, he felt an overwhelming sense of reverence. Here was a leader, not by the might of power, but by the wealth of knowledge and the respect of her tribe. Her voice, when she spoke, was mellifluous yet firm, echoing the songs of the cosmos and the rumbles of nebulas being birthed. "Stranger," she began, her tone neither hostile nor overtly friendly. "You've awakened the sands of time? Why are you here?" As Orion's gaze fixed upon her, every tiny detail about Ilara seemed to shimmer with significance. The winds seemed to change their course subtly, as if whispering ancient secrets to those who knew how to listen. Around Ilara, the sands danced intricately, like an extension of her being, revealing and concealing stories of old. Her fingers, slender and adorned with rings made of unknown minerals, moved with a grace that was almost otherworldly. Each ring bore symbols, some Orion recognized as celestial constellations, while others were enigmatic, perhaps tales or oaths of the Starbinders. Her footsteps on the sand didn't seem to leave imprints. Instead, where she stepped, tiny constellations of stars seemed to twinkle for a moment before fading. The desert, with all its vastness, seemed like a mere backdrop to this enigmatic figure who stood as if she was a bridge between the ancient past and the uncharted future. To Orion's surprise, the caravan that trailed behind her was just as mesmerizing. Beings of all shapes, sizes, and shades moved in a harmonious choreography. Some bore instruments that emanated sounds, harmonies that Orion had never heard, reminding him of the celestial tunes one hears when traveling between star systems. Instruments made of what looked like crystallized stardust and strung with the echoes of pulsars and quasars created a hauntingly beautiful backdrop to this first meeting. Animals, if one could call them that, floated and flitted around. Creatures of stardust, nebula gas, and cosmic light. They seemed to be in a state of perpetual dance with the Starbinders, forming and dissolving formations that told stories of their own. Ilara, with the desert's vastness behind her and the caravan's vibrant tapestry around her, waited for Orion's response. In that pause, a universe of unsaid words, unshared stories, and the weight of millennia seemed to hang. Orion, usually so articulate, felt a momentary loss of words. The universe had thrown him into uncharted territories before, but this was different. He wasn't just meeting a person or a tribe, he was meeting a living legacy, a testament to the universe's wonders. He took a deep breath, knowing that this conversation would change the course of his journey in ways he hadn't even begun to fathom. Ilara's eyes, vast and deep like twin galaxies, settled upon Orion, awaiting his voice. "Orion of the celestial nomad," she began, her voice echoing the song of the cosmos. "What ails your vessel?" Orion hesitated for a heartbeat, absorbing the weight of her presence, then responded, "Ilara of the Starbinders, my ship's energy core suffered severe damage upon my unexpected descent. It's a heart of sorts for the celestial nomad. Without it functioning at full capacity, I remain grounded, bound to nebulae." Ilara's fingers danced gently over one of her rings, drawing patterns in the air. A holographic projection of the celestial nomad's internal schematics appeared between them, revealing the intricate design of the ship and its damaged core, pulsating weakly. The energy core, to those unfamiliar, would appear as a luminous orb of intertwining light, a dance of particles and waves, stabilized within a containment field. It pulsed, almost akin to a heartbeat, but the rhythm was off, staggered and weak. The glow was dimmer than it should be, a faint blue instead of its radiant cerulean. Winding pathways of circuitry emanated from it, branching out like the roots of a cosmic tree, intertwining with the ship's framework. Orion, pointing at the schematic, added, "The core harnesses energies drawn from starlight, processed through a series of crystalline matrices, but as you can see, part of its conduit is fractured, and I fear the matrices have misaligned. On this planet, I lack the materials and knowledge to perform the necessary repairs." Ilara, her gaze moving over the ship's blueprints, mused aloud. The energy you speak of, this starlight, it's not just fuel. It's a connection, a lifeline. Your ship, the Celestial Nomad, it doesn't just traverse the cosmos, it sings with it. A harmony, a symphony of the stars. But now, it's as if a note in that symphony is missing, throwing the entire melody into disarray. Orion nodded, the weight of his predicament pressing on him. Exactly, Ilara. If I can't restore that note, if I can't realign the matrices and mend the conduit, then I fear the Nomad's song might be silenced forever. In the delicate dance of conversation, two beings from worlds apart shared an understanding, a connection formed by the heartbeats of their respective journeys. They stood on the precipice of discovery, with the vast canvas of Nebula's glimmering desert as their backdrop. The Starbinders, with their intimate connection to the deserts of Nebulae, had knowledge of every grain of sand, every glimmering rock, and every concealed secret. As Orion shared his concerns, Ilara's brow creased with thought, and she turned her gaze to the vastness of the shimmering desert. "There is a legend among our people," she began, her voice carrying the weight of countless generations, "of a mineral that exists deep beneath the dunes of Nebulae. We call it Star's Tear. It is believed to have formed from the very tears of stars, from epochs long past, when celestial beings wept for their lost companions." Orion, his interest piqued, leaned forward. "A mineral formed from the essence of stars? That sounds improbable, yet wondrous." Ilara nodded, her silver locks reflecting the luminescence around. "Improbable perhaps to those who traverse the stars, but do not truly understand them. Here on Nebulae, we believe the cosmos is more alive, more sentient than one might think. The Star's Tear is not just any mineral. It possesses an innate ability to harmonize with cosmic energies, making it an ideal conduit for your ship's core." Orion's eyes lit up with hope, but he quickly tempered it with practicality. "If this mineral exists, and has the properties you speak of, then it could be the solution to my predicament. But where can I find it? And how can I be sure it will work with the technology of the Celestial Nomad?" One of the younger Starbinders, a lad named Calum, who had been eavesdropping, excitedly chimed in. "The Star's Tear is real. My grandfather once showed me a fragment. It glowed with an ethereal light, pulsating as if it contained the heartbeat of the universe." Ilara, though slightly amused by Calum's enthusiasm, didn't reprimand him. Instead, she said, "The lad speaks the truth. The tear is rare, and its exact location is known to but a few. But if it can help mend the Nomad and restore its song, then the journey to find it is a worthy one." Orion, gratitude evident in his eyes, responded, "Then, with your guidance, I shall embark on this quest to find the tear, and with it, a way back to the stars." Kale, another among the younger Starbinders, stood apart from the group, his dark eyes observing Orion with a keen interest. He was different than the others, leaner, with a rugged complexion that spoke of many days under the scorching sun and glacial nights of Nebulae. His attire, a mix of traditional Starbinder garb and modern adaptations, fluttered in the gentle night breeze. After Ilara's tales and assurances, it was Kale who stepped forward, his boots imprinting on the stardust sand. "Orion," he began, his voice a deep baritone that surprisingly resonated warmth, "I have traveled these dunes more than most. My life has been a testament to the allure of discovery, the lure of what lies beneath." Orion eyed him, noting the raw determination and burning passion. "You wish to accompany me?" Kale nodded. "Yes, I've heard tales of the Star's Tear, stories whispered around campfires, legends that spoke of its hidden depths. I have been seeking it for a portion of my life. With your need and my knowledge, we could unearth it together." Orion hesitated for a moment, the weight of trust pressing upon him. But looking into Kale's eyes, he sensed not deceit, but a shared longing, an unspoken understanding of being lost and seeking something greater. "A partnership then," Orion finally said, extending his hand. Kale gripped it firmly, the pact sealed under the ever-watchful eyes of Nebulae's stars. "Together," he promised, "we'll find the Star's Tear and mend what's been broken." Ilara, witnessing the union of purposes, whispered a silent prayer to the cosmos, hoping the journey they were about to embark upon would not only mend a ship, but bridge souls and stories.